Hi my friends, it's the Iron Underneath. How are you? I wanted to bring you a video today on some trees that I've been noticing in these books. I don't know how many of you have noticed them, but they are extremely interesting. And I wanted to bring them to you in case you hadn't noticed. It's pretty wild. I don't know quite which name to call these trees because it seems like they're almost called different names by different people. They seem to be called ebony or cedarwood, maybe even ironwood. And there's reasons for that I'll explain here. It was thinking about Euron and the shade of the evening and the Qartheen warlocks and the blue lips from drinking the shade of the evening. They turn your lips bright, bright blue. This story involves so much symbolism, especially having to do with colors, that the color of this tree is really what sparked my imagination. The story also involves a lot of blood sacrifice, so I wonder if these trees would require a blood sacrifice as well. Here's the description of the House of the Undying and the trees outside of it. This is from Daenerys in A Clash of Kings. Long and low, without towers or windows, it coiled like a stone serpent through a grove of black-barked trees with inky blue leaves, made the stuff the sorcerers drink. The Qartheen call the shade of the evening. So these trees are, the leaves are inky blue, and that's what they make the shade of the evening out of. Zarozondaxis even calls this place the Palace of Dust and says that warlocks eat dust and drink of shadows. Jogo said it was an evil place, a haunt of ghosts and magi. And then she tells them to notice how it drinks the morning sun. Exactly the same way a shy is described, with the oily black stone that it's covered with or made out of. A shy is said, the black stone is said to drink the light. On a shy, there's shadow binders, alchemists. There's an alchemist guild that trains in a shy. So there's a lot of alchemy going on here too. One flute of Shade of the Evening is said to unstop your ears, dissolve the call from your eyes, so that you may hear and see the truths that will be laid before you. So when Dany drinks the Shade of the Evening in the House of the Undying, the description she gives is it seemed to come to life within her. She could feel tendrils spreading through her chest, like fingers of fire, coiling around her heart. And on her tongue was a taste like honey and anisey and cream, like mother's milk and Drogo's seed, like red meat, hot blood, and molten gold. It was all the taste she'd ever known, and none of them. The Shade of the Evening seems to give you visions about your life or what's going on in your psyche. And the Weirwood Paste seems to give you visions of past, present, and future, but also about your life, at least at first. Starkwood is also inside the House of the Undying. Finally, the stair opened. To her right, a set of wide wooden doors had been thrown open. They were fashioned of ebony and weirwood, the black and white grains swirling and twisting in strange interwoven patterns. They were very beautiful, yet somehow frightening. This sounds exactly like the description of the doors of the House of Black and White that Arya also gives a description of in A Clash of Kings. It's very similar. At the top of the steps, she found a set of carved wooden doors. 12 feet high, the left-hand door was made of weirwood, pale as bone. the right of gleaming ebony. In their center was carved a moon face, ebony on the Weirwood side, Weirwood on the ebony side. Now these are moon faces, which is interesting. We haven't seen really moon faces before. Inside the House of Black and White is a black-barked Weirwood face, just like a black-barked tree face, just like the Weirwood faces that are carved. But it's darkwood. Assassins are also found in Ashai. So all of these people, moon singers, shadowbinders, that moon singers come from the Church of Starry Wisdom, and Arya heard them singing in Bravos in, I think, a Dance with Dragons. There's shadowbinders, Melisandre, red priests and priestesses. They all come from Ashai. So the black bark trees tell me that there's a connection between the two. There's a quote from A Clash of Kings, also from Jon, when they go to the Fist of the First Men and the others attack. Right before the others attack, Jon sees something. The trees stood beneath him, warriors armored in bark and leaf, deployed in their silent ranks, awaiting the command to storm the hill. Black they seemed. It was only when his torchlight brushed against them that Jon glimpsed a flash of green. The trees seemed black, but green is a green seer color. So could this have been a warning, maybe, from the children of the forest? When the others kill, they don't leave any blood. Why? What do they do with it? Do they maybe feed it to these trees? Does the oily black stone maybe feed these trees, as well as blood sacrifice? I don't know, but there's two very similar descriptions of Weirwood Paste and Shade of the Evening. Here is Bran's description of eating Weirwood Paste. He was handed a weirwood bowl in the cave. It is said to be made of weirwood seeds, weirwood sap and blood. Maybe other ingredients that could be human or children of the forest. There's a lot of skulls in that cave. They tell Bran he's a green seer, and that this paste will open his gifts and basically open his third eye. That he will see past, present, and future. There are red veins, which Bran supposes are just weirwood sap, but they kind of make him feel sick because they look remarkably like blood. So he describes the taste as awful at first, bitter, then becomes almost sweet, tasting of honey and newly fallen snow, cinnamon and pepper, and the last kiss his mother ever gave him. So again, both seem to awaken a gift that's already present. Euron may have a bit of a gift, and that might be why he's drinking so much Shade of the Evening. Shade of the Evening sounds a little bit to me like a drug stronger than LSD or mushrooms or anything of the kind. It sounds like what Hunter S. Thompson used to write about, DMT, which is made from a mix of serotonin and melatonin. And it's supposed to give you visions of the type that you'd see before you die and right before you're born. So it's that flash of your brain going a lot like Bran's visions that fast in the show. How fast his visions went. How fast Damphair's visions go in the Forsaken chapter. I think that's a little bit more what this shade of the evening is like, because it not only seems scary, it seems like it doesn't stop for a long time. We have weirwood trees with bright red leaves and pale white bark. Pale white is always like the moon or the others. Red is always fire and R'hllor, red priestesses, etc. The black bark trees with the inky blue leaves, which Danny says also are darker than dark, kind of like colder than cold with the others. The shade of the evening tree, whatever it may be called, is blue-leaved, so that's water and ice, and they're black, which is Night's Watch, death, dried blood, congealed blood, like cold hands, and the north. The north is represented as darkness in a lot of cultures and a lot of mystic religions. What do you guys think these trees might be? Could they be weirwoods that have been turned just like another? John did see a weirwood tree encased in ice, and I'm wondering if, I know that weirwoods can't die, but can they turn? Can they be turned? Or are they like a block to the weirwoods? Are they associated with the black stone? Euron, in the Iron Captain chapter of A Feast for Crows, mentions that he's seen a god carved from cedar wood. So that might be this face, this tree face. Or he might be referring to the Lion of Night. There is a statue of the Lion of Night also in the House of Black and White. He's carved out of black wood. Arya calls it ebony. I'm wondering about the Lion of Night because he seems to be the very first other. It seems, when you look at the Great Empire of the Dawn, in the world of Ice and Fire, they always refer to the Lion of Night and his demons, is how it's put. Pearl Emperor built the 5 forts to keep the Lion of Night and his demons out, which is exactly like the Wall. So, lastly, what I want to say about this is that there is a forest in Norse mythology called Ironwood, and it's located in Midgard. We know that this story is based on, well, I'll say he's replying to things like Ragnarok, War in Heaven, and the Game of Thrones is the War of the Roses, and all of that sort of glossing over what's really going on with the others. The fact that winter has come and that the others are coming with it. The Ironwood Forest is described from Ragnarok as where the marked whose children were werewolves, trolls, and wolves lived. The 2 brothers who were wolves would devour the sun and the moon at the last battle of Ragnarok. So, who will those brothers be, do you think? I know Bran will be one. Will Jon be another? Will they fight together? Is Benjen maybe one of them? Do you guys think that these are the opposite of the weirwoods? What do you think? Are weirwood the tree of knowledge and the black tree is the tree of immortality and enthrallment and corruption? I am so happy about all of my subscribers. I really am, you guys. Thank you so much. We're at 200, and I'm so excited about that. That's a big milestone. So thank you for helping me get there. And thank you for all of your great comments. You're all so wonderful and intelligent, and I just adore you all. So, once again, no rude comments. It's really not cool. And otherwise, my wonderful subscribers and all the other kind people in the world, please leave comments. And please like and subscribe also. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're all well. Valar Morghulis. See you next time.